Hello and welcome everybody to this webinar sponsored by Indo-US Collaboration for Engineering Education, that is IUCEE. In today's webinar, I'll be covering one of the very trendy and powerful phenomenon called Internet of Things. This is a very powerful thing because it is going to create a new world order. By that I mean it's going to bring some kind of a dramatic changes which have never been seen in the past. Of course, human history has seen many such developments which have changed the world order. For example, when humans started their living on the earth, they were nomads and they were only roaming about and in search of food and hunting. Then when they decided to stay in a location, then they established civilization. So civilized world was much different from nomadic life. Similarly, when they went to civilization, then actually they depended on agriculture. So agricultural life was stable for many centuries. Then the Industrial Revolution changed a new world order. That means the production of items in the factories brought out a new kind of a world order. Similarly, when we invented telephone, we invented communication systems, we brought a new kind of a world order. Similarly, today, Internet of Things is actually bringing a new kind of a world order, which is I'm going to cover today. So the purpose of this session is to introduce IoT, that is the Internet of Things, through real world examples and scenarios. We will explore the concept behind smart homes, smart farms, connected cars, and smart healthcare platforms. You will understand the key technologies which are enabling this. The objective of this session is to set up a stage for a series of seminars that I'm going to give on this platform. So today's session will cover the basic and fundamentals of IoT, but over the next few weeks, I will be having the following sessions. Session number 1 about web architecture for an Internet of Things. Will IoT be secure enough? The third session will be an application of IoT, and the fourth one will be the research directions in IoT. Let me start. See, one of the best way to understand any phenomenon today is through example. Examples will illustrate the power of a particular new technology, and that's exactly what I am going to go today. So the presentation model is something like this. I will try to introduce a concept, and it will take about 5 to 10 minutes to cover each topic or each concept. At the end of each concept, I will give some time to ask, I'm open for your questions. Then once those questions are resolved, then I will move on to the next one. So let me start with an example. So people ask us like, what is this IoT? And let me actually explain through one very practical example. So one of the IoT's possible contribution is to improve the life in a city. For example, we have a city like Bombay, and Bombay has one challenge. The challenge is to gain greater efficiency for its water and electricity supplies. So this can make a great difference between reducing the poverty gap. Bombay is a city with millionaires and also people who are penniless. So how do IoT can help these people? That's the question, and I will show you how actually it will help them. I hope you can see a map on your screen right now. See, on the right side you see there is a balloon which is called a place called Dharavi, and you also see a place on the left side called Warden Road. And you know, these are in the same Bombay and they are just blocks away. That means about 20 minutes of travel will actually take you from Dharavi to Mumbai. And like on the left side you see there is a table which shows you the locality and rate of municipal water. So if you are staying in Dharavi, it will cost you about $1.50 for every cubic meter of water. And if you are staying in Warden Road, it will cost you about 0.03 cubic meter, dollar per cubic meter. And that means a person staying in the same town like in Bombay, in Dharavi, is paying 37 times more than what is actually paid by a person in Warden Road. Why does this happen? This is what it actually, the injustice is very clear. The poor people in Mumbai pay 30 times more water, basic humanity. Why does this happen? Very simple. The main source for this disparity is the higher cost of delivering utility services to poorer neighborhood because of infrastructure efficiencies and because of the problems like leaks and theft. And if you go to any urban areas or kind of a slum area in any town, you will find that roads are not good, pipes are always leaking, people are actually trying to get illegal connection to power supply and waters, and they are doing all this. And this is because of this reason, more than 50% of the power distributed by North Delhi Power is not paid by the customers. What they do actually is they will put a wire onto an existing line and they try to draw a power without authorization. So a key challenge for power companies is to reducing theft. Once companies can reduce this theft, they can supply these items very economically. Look at this. This shows you the cost. This is a power line established in any one of the town, and you see number of lines, wires that have been drawn by it. Most of them are illegal. So the poor people are people of, our own Indians. For some reason, actually, they want to thief. They want to actually steal the power supply from this one. Now I come how actually Internet of Things can actually help you in this regard. IoT, because of its ubiquitous sensors and connected systems, will provide authorities with more information and control in order to identify and fix these problems. What it will do is, look at this picture again, it will try to put some sensors on these poles, electrical poles, and will tell you that how many lines are connected, what power they are drawing, and who is doing at what time. So this is not available today because we don't have IoT implemented on that. And this will allow companies to operate more profitably because they know that where is the leakage, they know that who is stealing them. So this will actually become a kind of information for these people, who the companies like power supply companies or water supply companies, and they can prevent those theft. And once that theft is prevented, then they actually can reduce their prices. And there will be a revolutionary change. The people who are trying to steal this because it is very expensive will become actually a paying customers. So this is the message. So IoT is a technology which can solve lot many problems. One I showed you in the Mumbai town. Now let me define what is this IoT. So describing IoT, IoT is a world where things like devices and sensors are connected and able to share data. See, for example, here things, in the previous example I showed you the electrical pole. So there you can put a sensor and you can measure that whatever the leak that is happening or whatever the usage that is happening, and that is connected to either internet or a network of that particular company, and share data. So the essential components of an IoT system is actually user ability to install a sensor and collect information. So data coming from these devices and provide a business insights that were previously out of reach. For example, in the olden days, we were not able to find out who is actually pulling electricity from our poles. We don't know who is actually drawing water from our pipelines. Now, because sensors are installed, you can actually find them out. So this will give you a kind of information so that actually you can start analyzing the data which is coming from these machines. So here is a question time. See that people can ask me question at this point of time. Any questions?
Right now, no.
Hello?
Sir. No, sir. Right now, no, sir. We'll give them some time.
I'll go for that.
Sir, one question came.
So this example I showed you because, yes sir?
How to measure losses?
Hello? Okay, so these sensors actually are both digital and analog. And for example, if you are putting this sensor to an analog line like electricity, then the way we actually measure electricity in our home in terms of units, they can be measured. Any other question?
No, sir. Go ahead.
Similarly, for example, if you want to find out how much the water is being lost, then the sensor will have a meter which will tell you how much of gallons of water or how much buckets of water has been actually stolen or supplied onto this. Okay. So this example I showed you that because actually I wanted to impress upon your minds that IoT is something in action. It is not a theory. It is not a kind of a fantasy. It is actually in action. And this example actually showed you IoT in action at a city level. The next example I am going to show you which can be at a personal level. See, here you see a picture where actually you see a toothbrush. See, brushing your teeth can be feel like a chore because every morning you get up and the very idea of brushing your teeth may make you to sleep for further another half an hour. And especially for kids, this has become a big problem for parents. Okay, so now this actually can be actually solved by Internet of IoT. Okay, see for example, see there is a company called Colibri who has developed a smart toothbrush which interacts with smartphone games in order to make hygiene more fun. What actually does is, you look at here, By changing the orientation of your toothbrush, that means you are either brushing up and down or left and right, or actually you are brushing inside actually, that movement is connected to a game on your smartphone. So this character actually is connected to smartphone, meaning that as children learn to brush their teeth, as they keep pushing their brushes in their mouth, on their teeth, the game, they can also play a game simultaneously on their smartphone. And that actually will give the earn rewards, because whenever there is a wrong movement, actually you cannot contact that character or play the game correctly. So these characters on the game and the correct brushing practice has been connected so well that people will automatically, children will actually automatically get to do a good practice. So this is another implication of actually using IoT as an example. It is not only children. For example, Collaborate Brush can also has for older users like me and you, including ability to track and monitor. Probably you have noticed that we have 32 teeth or little less than that, depending on number we have broken or something like that. And whenever we brush, over the years we have developed a kind of a practice where actually we keep brushing the same tooth often, but we miss certain tooth for whatever the reason. But this mechanism, which is provided by this particular company, which help you in such a fashion that actually it will help you track and monitor which parts of your mouth you are brushing and more often than the others. It can also provide health tips because this is connected to a network through your cell. It can actually get some tips from a health professional, dental professionals. See, for example, on the left side you see that it will help you to check regularly. Maybe it will tell you, did you brush 2 times in a day or not, or how much time did you take for brushing this, or actually how actually you are monitoring that. Okay. Similarly, monitor your track forgotten teeth. Maybe on a particular day you did not brush a particular tooth. All this it will tell you. This is another instance where IoT, a sensor which is installed into one of your devices, in this case actually your toothbrush, can help you monitor your your health status of your dental. For children, it converts into a brushing into a game and pays them the rewards for correct brushing, whereas in case of older people, it will give additional information which can be used. So the summary is this: Internet of Things is a solution in search of a challenge. That means in the earlier case in Bombay, actually it solved a problem of theft and leakage. In case of a toothbrush, it solved the problem of converting a code which children would hate to do to convert of a kind of a game where actually they will enjoy. So similarly, it helps people like older people to understand what correct brushing is and help them to monitor. So this is essentially what is IoT is all about. IoT is a solution in such a challenge. You throw a challenge, anything in between, either it's as big as city is or as small as brushing your tooth, it can solve that problem. So any question at this point of time? The whole summary is this: IoT is technology in action. It can help at an individual level as well as at a senior level or at a city level or even a national level. So is there any question at this point of time?
Yes, sir. What will happen to sensor when it will be placed there?
Where, sir? In toothbrush?
No, sir. In the initial example you had given.
Wow, see, so in case, okay, in case of city like Mumbai and all, see, suppose you put a sensor onto an electric pole, then it will keep telling you what is the power drawn. For example, suppose there are only 2 legally authorized connections, and some people are stealing by adding another connection. It will indicate this: there is a 3rd connection which is not authorized. This is the first level of information, and when this happens for a couple of poles in Mumbai, then that will give you a kind of a number. For every 100 poles, there are 25 legal connections, and remaining 25 are not legal connections. This is the first level of information it will give you to electrical power station. And if you similarly, if you are putting it to a water supply, then it will say like how many people are drawing water who are not authorized. For example, they may add on illegal connection to a pipeline and try to pull a water from that. So in the beginning stages, it will help you to show you the phenomenon, number of people participating. And secondly, the amount of the quantity of their participation, how much they are drawing, how much which is not authorized, and so on.
Sir, the same professor is asking, no, on electrical wires, rain, summer, winter, in the many seasons, what will happen to the sensors?
Okay. No, actually, sir, today technology has developed some sensors which are all season sensors. That I can explain or cover, because see, now actually people put sensors even in a ship which goes to a very hard whether in a sea or an ocean. Okay, and people put sensors even to a satellite kind of a thing. Okay, so the strength and the stability of sensors is very high. They may cost you a lot, but again, the guaranteed performance is always given to you.
What are the various objects which can be connected through net?
I will cover, sir. I will come later, sir. I am coming to that.
Okay, sir. Is it feasible in a country like India where corruption is more?
Next. Yeah, actually, sir, because we are not putting any man in between here, we are putting devices in between here. So corruption will be eliminated because we are not putting a security man at the pole. We are not putting a security man at a tap. We are actually putting a machine into this. So a machine actually is more immune to any corruption than anyone else. Shall I go to the next concept?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now that I have illustrated with two examples, let me go to the concept beyond this IoT. So Internet of Things is a new world of connected objects. So when we say connected objects, it goes beyond our current Internet. The Internet today connects people and machines, but whereas the Internet of Things actually connects the objects. So the agenda in this presentation is what we will explain the concept of Internet of Things, what does we mean by that, definition of Internet of Things, and differences between the current Internet and the extended part of that called IoT. See, connectivity is a basic human desire. For example, when Earth is too big for us, because there are many civilizations, one was in China, one was in India, one was in Mesopotamia, and so on and so forth. So we always try to get connected to the other part of the world, and this is a human need and a basic desire. See, in the earlier stages, actually, roads connected places. For example, Mumbai is connected to, see, Delhi through a road. So when that connectivity is established, communication automatically comes. And people who know history know that there was a route from China to Middle East called Silk Route. So once you do that, that actually creates a communication and a business. Similarly, telephones connected people. So when we actually overcome these physical distance through roads, then we wanted to connect spatially people, then we actually used telephones. So that connected people. Internet connected people and communities. So Internet took this connectivity to a higher level. So the whole summary is that connectivity is a deep need, and humanity has always responded by inventing different devices to establish that connectivity. See, for example, one of the ambitious plan of or one of our old government was actually to establish this golden quadrilateral. So what was the idea? To establish a national level connectivity so that people and markets can get connected to. So that means the connectivity idea is not only human, it is also part of organizational national development plan. So the concept of IoT is derived from this connectivity. So roads connected places, computers connected people, and networks connected other communities and all. The basic concept of IoT is to make entire world deeply connected and widely connected. So what we mean by deeply, so far much of our connection is actually very superficial. That means it connects two people, it connects two towns, it connects to telephones and so on and so forth. But the objective of concept of IoT is to make every object addressable. That means to connect you need address. For example, Bombay is an address, Delhi is an address which is connected through a road, and your phone is connected to mine because both of them have a number. So the whole objective of IoT is to make everything addressable. Once that is addressable, then accessible, then actionable. So the idea of IoT is to take the connectivity to a next higher level where everything in this world is connected. What is the scope of this connectivity? So let me explain what this connectivity is all about. See, for example, consider your house. See, it is addressable because our houses have an address, they are addressable. That means it has an address. Since it has an address, it is also accessible. That means I can give that address to a courier person who can come and deliver an item to you. Similarly, I can give that address to your friend and who will come and visit you. So that means house has an address and it's also accessible, but it is not actionable. What it means is, say I cannot sit and giving this webinar and ask my door to be closed by remotely. That means my door is not actionable. So the whole objective of IoT is to make everything addressable, accessible and actionable. Let me explain with a further details. Look at this example. See, for example, item, the first rows actually, first columns gives you an item. See, house is addressable because it has an address. It is accessible because you can reach either by road or by vehicle. It is not actionable. What it actually means is you cannot close the door of your home sitting here. Okay, that's not actionable. But you look at your mobile. Mobile is addressable, yes, because it has a phone number. Is it accessible? Yes, it can be. You can call it. Is it actionable? Yes. For example, I can put currency to my daughter's phone by asking the service provider to do that. Means action can happen on that. Similarly, computer, is it addressable? Yes. Is it accessible? Yes. It is actionable? Yes. For example, you can get connected to your computer remotely and do certain things. For example, you can download something to your home computer at home by doing here because it has an URL. Similarly, TV, is it addressable? No. That means a home TV at my home is not addressable because it doesn't have an address. What IoT would like to do is it is trying to give an URL to that. Is it accessible? No. It is not accessible from here. Is it actionable? Yes. If you sit in home, a remote can actually make the TV to act. TV remote, is it addressable? No. When IoT comes, your remote will also have a specific URL address. Is it accessible? Once that address is given, actually it can be accessed. Is it actionable? Yes. In a home, TV remote is accessible, actionable. So the idea is this: IoT would like to make entire world addressable, accessible, and actionable. Earlier connectivities, for example, the fixed internet wave connected 1 billion people. So when internet came in the 90s, actually it connected 1 billion people. The mobile connected another 2 billion people. That means the people who were reachable through mobile were actually 2 billion. Now IoT is expected to connect 28 billion things. That means it is not, we are not talking about connecting people because the population of world is about 10 billion or so, or 8 billion. But now we are planning to connect 28 billions by 2020, and this could include anything, a bracelet that you have on your hand or car that is parked in your lot. So now let me define what is IoT. See, the Internet of Things connects devices such as everyday consumer objects and industrial equipment onto the network. So the objective is to connect. And if you look at this, you have everything connected. There is a computer, there is a headset, there is a mic, everything is connected to Internet. And earlier there was a question from some audience like, what can be connected? See, anything that, any device can be connected. I told you, sir, earlier, you can connect your bracelet also, provided it has some kind of addressable mechanism. You can connect your car, provided it has a mechanism. So you can connect my my home TV, provided it is an address. So what you connect to Internet of Things is actually limited only by your imagination. Now that I told you what is IoT, now I will tell you what does it enable. Now that I have connected, what is that I can do? What I can do is, it will enable information gathering and management of these devices via software. That means I can connect my car to a network using some kind of a sensory, and I can collect the health information of my car so that it can be sent to a manufacturer or a service provider. Similarly, I can connect my elevator or my lift that we use in our building through a network to the operator, so that the maintenance department will know the status of the health of that lift all the time. So Internet of Things connects things that will enable me to do this kind of information gathering and using that information. So what is the result? To increase efficiency, enable new services, or achieve other health and safety needs. What it means is, suppose I understand that I have put my light on in my home, okay, and I have come to office without offing that. Then if it is IoT enabled, then I can switch off that light from here in the college while I am giving seminar. So what does it do? Help me. It will save the energy. That means instead of the light being on for next 4 hours before I go home, I am saving energy. Okay. Enable new services. That I can tell you, because if there is a patient in a home, then he can be sent about prescribed medicine using an IoT enabled device. So when this actually happens, the growth of IT will be looking like this. See, around 2003, there were less machines connected, devices connected to Internet than the people. And today, we have more people connected, less people connected, more devices connected to IoT. So any question of this time? What I have covered so far is actually definition of IoT. It is all about connecting devices. What does help me to do that? So that I can gather information and control them through software. And what does it enable? It will help me to do certain things like achieving efficiency or building new services. So any questions, Sridhar?
So microphone, loudspeaker,
any questions?
Microphone, loudspeaker, sensors,
yes, sir?
All will require Ethernet connector.
Okay.
Does all of them require Ethernet connector?
Sir, actually, when what I did not mention is actually, see, when I say connect in the context of the IoT, it always means getting connected to a network called internet. So whatever the additional devices that you need to reach the internet is to be included in that. See, for example, if I am putting a sensor and actually I am using either a Wi-Fi connectivity to get connected to internet. So whatever the additional hardware that is needed to reach out to the internet is presumed to be available and should be provided. So when we say connecting, it always means internet.
Is it applicable topic characterization?
What's that?
No, sir, I did not understand. I hope they can clarify that question. I will go to the next one. How the huge data from all these devices is managed?
Okay, sir, that's a very simple thing actually. See, before IoT came, actually we had what is known as cloud computing. So cloud computing gave you the power of processing a large amount of data through what is known as data centers services availability. And now there is already a consequence called big data. So big data is nothing but huge data collected from multiple devices and multiple websites like Facebook and really handling the data generated. Sir, any questions?
Yes, sir. What is the difference between Wi-Fi and IoT?
No. See, Wi-Fi is actually, see, all Wi-Fis are local in that. For example, if in my college I have a device, I mean I have a network, then actually I can enable Wi-Fi enabled people, for example, mobile devices and other even laptops and all, which have a mechanism to get connected to this one. But Wi-Fi's by definition, they are very small in their coverage. For example, the Wi-Fi that I use in my college cannot be used by Sridhar in his Hyderabad. Okay, they are limited in that. Similarly, Bluetooth. So IoT is actually enablement of devices to get connected to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or internet so that they can be part of a big network called Internet of Things. So the difference between Wi-Fi and this, Wi-Fi is a technology which will help you to connect machines, whereas IoT is one which is already, which is enabled by this connection and become part of a bigger network in which there are many other things. Yes, sir.
Sir, will cost of all items rise because of every device needs Ethernet or some other internet connectivity?
No, sir. Actually, see what we have industry has told us that actually whenever a usage of an item or a thing actually grows up, there is a phenomenon called the mass production. When mass production happens, the prices will always come down. People may be knowing, for example, internet was costing a lot in the earlier stages. Now it will cost you very less. Similarly, mobile phones were costing you a lot, huge in the earlier days. Now it is going to cost you less. Even mobile charges earlier used to be costing more, and now it has come down. So whenever there is more and more people start using, there is something called mass production that will bring prices down.
Will IPv6 support the IoT?
Sir, actually I will come to that later because the challenge of the IPv4 is actually the limitation of address. That will shortly come in another 5-6 slides.
Okay. So the last one is IoT a PAN or a LAN technology?
LAN technology? LAN, sir?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Go on, sir.
I will move on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I will move on? Okay. See, next is this. Now that I have defined what is IoT, let me compare them with its existing system and the future thing. Okay. So IoT versus internet. See, we have been used to this internet for the last 20-25 years. So our framework or our mind always thinks in terms of internet. Now the IoT is actually extension of that, but it goes beyond connecting people and computers and goes to get connected to everything. Now let me explain the differences between an internet and IoT. See, what IoT does is, in the first case, actually leverages sensor and attached things. Okay, so leverages the sensor attached to things. For example, current internet will not help you to find the temperature in your room. What IoT does is, actually it will put a thermometer there and gets connected to internet and helps you to measure the temperature. So because of this, more data is generated, because everybody starts measuring temperature in their rooms, and if there are 20 billion users on internet, then there are 20 lakh billion data, 20 million data points there. So that means internet, because it connects, in IoT, because it connects devices which are capable of generating data, there is a huge data being generated. For example, this data is more than what is possible to manage by human beings. For example, so when you create an account in Gmail, it will give only 15 GB. But suppose you are collecting the data about temperature in at least say 1000 locations every day, that will cost 15 GB in no time. So that's the first difference. The second difference is adds intelligence to the manual process. For example, reduce power and usage in hot days. So intelligent items, actually IoT, what happens is actually, so today what happens is, if there is a rise in temperature or reduction in temperature, manually we have to go and change our AC conditions, or suppose we forget to come off in the light and all, we have to go manually and do that. Because IoT actually attaches things which have sensors which are capable of making certain decisions, they would actually help you to achieve additional efficiencies. See, today computers, in the network computer, actually are aimed at individual people. For example, there is a person who is sitting on the computer who will use the internet. But in IoT, it is the connected devices. So what actually happens is, now we are trying to improve the performance of things which are connected to internet. Earlier, we were trying to improve the performance of an individual who is connected to internet. That means from the worker productivity, we are moving to the item or device productivity. So that is the second difference. The third one is actually IoT connects objects to networks. I told you already, car is connected to internet. In the earlier cases, a person is connected to internet, my computer is connected to internet. Now we are connecting thermostat, watches and all. So we are connecting non-living but devices to the internet. Some of the intelligence shifts from the cloud to network edge. There is something called fog computing. What actually means is, see, for example, in cloud computing, all the data is stored on the clouds. So intelligence will come when a person actually touches the data. Okay. Now, since these devices are actually sensories, that means they can collect information, and you can also put a processor in them to process the data and also take decision. So much of the data which is currently stored on cloud can also be moved to what is known as the edges, called fog computing. And fog computing itself is a different topic that might be covered later. Third one, what IoT does is customize technology and process to specific verticals. For example, healthcare and retail. See, today's internet is very homogeneous. That means there are only 3 devices which are connected to internet. One is your laptop, one is your cell, and one is your desktop. Whereas in IoT, multiple kind of devices will be connected. Maybe your car is connected to that, maybe your fridge is connected to that, maybe your watch is connected to that, maybe your bracelet is connected to that. So more data is generated by things with sensors than people. Okay. Unlike broad horizontal reach of PCs, I told you, in internet only PCs are there, desktops are there, laptops are there, and cells are there. Whereas in IoT, every kind of a device is included. And what IoT does is actually is deployed pervasively. What it means is, see, today computers are there where people are there. For example, they will carry their laptop or they will put it in their offices and all. But these devices can be installed anywhere. For example, they can install a device on a seashore. They can install a device in a garden. They can install a road on a street light. So that means there are more devices with sensors are installed than the number of computers which are connected to internet. Because of this, they give ubiquitous presence. That means wherever there is a need, they can be installed, resulting in an order of magnitude more devices than even greater security concerns. Okay, this has a consequence because since these devices are kept in public places like garden or railway station, there is a more security concern, but that will be taken care. So question time. So what actually I did so far is actually I tried to compare the internet, the existing internet to the emerging IoT. The fundamental difference between that actually is the internet connected only 3 devices like computers, PCs and laptops and mobiles, whereas IoT connects every imaginable kind of a device. And because of this, then there is a lot of data generated which is more in quantity than what it used to be earlier. Okay, any questions on this?
Is it possible to detect a failure of anything on the network?
Yes, sir. Okay. So there is a big science of this actually, ensuring that. So normally when we build a network, we actually build a kind of what is called a redundancy. That means if a particular machine fails, then another machine will take care of that. So this is called building redundancy. And anybody who's familiar with networking know, because if one of the router fails in a network, there is a mechanism to inform this information to other routers who will take care of that load. So similarly, in a IoT, there are built-in mechanisms to different degrees which will take care of failures. Yes.
Is it possible to improve the performance of Wi-Fi through IoT?
See, Wi-Fi is a facility, right? So what Wi-Fi gives you an ability to get connected to network. So there is a question of bandwidth. So the efficiency comes from the device which is connected rather than the network itself. So that means, example, see when you have a good road, there is no efficiency for the road, but there is efficiency for the vehicle which is traveling on that. So Wi-Fi is something like a road which helps you to get connected to a network. So there is no question of Wi-Fi efficiency. It's only a question of the efficiency of the connected device, like a vehicle on the road. Road itself has no efficiency, but every vehicle that travels on the road has a efficiency point.
How can IoT be implemented in hospital management?
Yes, sir, I will come to that one sometime later because it comes under this one applications. But briefly, I can tell you like this, sir. See, if there is a patient who needs a continuous monitoring. So today, actually, what happens is you put actually a human nurse over there, and there is a chances like security guards, they may also fall asleep. While they are sleeping, there may be a variation in the parameters of a patient, like a blood pressure or sugar condition or something like that. But suppose you put a kind of a implant or a kind of a device onto the body or over a body which has a mechanism to measure this continuously, then even the patient who is taking care of is actually fall asleep, then probably that will send a message first to a nurse, next to a doctor, third to a mechanical system which can actually respond immediately. And there are mechanisms which are already available like this. It is possible to put an additional sensor or additional device to a heart patient who is chronically ill and keep monitoring him wherever he is. And today, in fact, insurance companies take you less premium provided you are applying this kind of IoT device on a patient. Any questions?
How about security concern in IoT?
Sir, I told you, I told you in the second slide actually. So will IoT be secure is a topic itself for this webinar, which will be taken detail in one of the further webinars. But tell you briefly, say whatever the security mechanisms are there in place for internet today, like privacy and secrecy, will also be taken care for all the devices which are included in IoT. For example, there are security mechanisms which will ensure that unauthorized person cannot collect data from a sensor. Okay, unauthorized person or a patient, person cannot collect patient data from the device which is put on a patient. All those mechanisms are built in, sir, through what is known as authorization, checking credentials, those kind of things.
There are more questions, but we'll continue later, sir.
Okay, no problem, sir.
Okay.
So now I will talk about the components. Now that I have defined what is IoT, let me tell you what does it consist of. So the IoT consists of the following things, because all of them actually become very economical today. It will have cheap sensors, because a thing without a sensor is actually a very dumb thing which does nothing. For example, it's like a stone, but if you put a sensor to a stone, it becomes a smart device. Cheap bandwidth, that means I can collect data in my room at home and get it transferred over internet, because bandwidth is relatively cheap. And cheap processing, I told you big data will help you to process any amount of data at any point of time. The smartphones, because there is an intelligence built into these machines, and this intelligence can be used in the implementation of IoT. And ubiquitous wireless coverage, now it is possible that in major towns, at least in certain areas, the device, net is always available. In fact, one of the ambitious projects of the current government is actually to build 30 smart cities. And the basic definition of a smart city is one in which actually internet connectivity is always available from any location. Okay. and big data. Big data is actually the ability of cloud computing to collect and process and actually try to get insights from a large quantity of data. And finally, IPv6, more things can be addressed. So it is the components of this include this, and because of big data and IPv6 are available, today it is possible to have IoT. But what is needed is also expanding telecom. That means there are areas in India or in many of the developing countries where there is no telephone. Okay, so that needs to be done. Telephone means network. Okay, and cable and satellite pipes that carry traffic through broader Wi-Fi networks is a critical part. So if you want to extend what is called a last mile reach, then you've got to do this. Devices with sensor, memory, chips, and software necessary to communicate with a pipe is key. That means if I want to make a IoT, then I have to have a device which is capable of having a sensor, enough memory to program it, and also enough memory, hardware in space to store my software. So this is an example of an IoT. Assume that you are a student of an engineering college like ours, then you have a class at 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, if IoT is implemented in this, it has certain benefits. For example, assume that for some reason a professor who has to take class at 8 o'clock cancels that class. All that he will do is actually inform this to a network which is connected to the teaching. Immediately that network will release an information to all the students saying that instead of coming at 8, you can come at 10 o'clock. Since this is a part of an IoT, it will also go to a bank, to a bus station and find out the buses which are there, which will start at 8:30 instead of 7:30 because you are attending 10 o'clock today, and send that information to your mobile saying that the buses which are available for you to go to college today because there is a cancellation of class and you are going late will be informed to you. At the same time, if you are a hostelite, a message will also go to your warden or a mess in charge saying that this student, particular student, instead of coming at 7:30 for having his breakfast, due to the cancellation of class is coming at 8:30. This happens because there are devices installed in hostel, installed in classroom, installed in the professor chamber, which will communicate with each other and share that information. So this you can play anytime. So now we'll talk about the characteristics of this IoT. The first characteristic of this actually interconnectivity. That means anything can be connected to global information and communication infrastructure. So I connect my bracelet to my machine, which in turn gets connected to internet. Things related services. So we are not people oriented in IoT, we are things oriented. So capable of providing things related services within constraints of things. For example, privacy and protection and semantic consistency connecting physical and virtual things. For example, now there are virtual things and there are physical things. In fact, the another name for IoT is called cyber physical because we have been used to this kind of a World Wide Web internet term which is called cyber world or a cyber connectivity. Now we are also extending this reach to a physical world. So cyber physical world is the name. So in this actually things are connected. That is also another characteristic of IoT. And the heterogeneity, devices are heterogeneous. Unlike in the current internet where only three types of devices can be connected. That is your laptop, desktop, or a cell. In IoT, every imaginable things can be connected. Dynamic changes, since they have sensors, they have to monitor, for example, whether it's morning or evening, whether it is raining or not. So that dynamic changes would happen. There won't be rain until 5 o'clock. It will start immediately at 5:05. So that kind of a dynamic changes, it must be able to do that. And enormous size. That means enormous number of devices will be connected. So there are 5 characteristics for this, and I have listed them. Now, what is the novelty of this? So you may ask a question, what is new about this? So new about this is very simple. See, until today, whenever we had a computer or communication network, we actually used it to support our activities. For example, I would be using computer to edit my file. I would be using my network to communicate. They were never part of our product and services. Today, IT has become part of my product and services. That means if I deliver a watch to you, then there is an IoT built into that which will keep telling me the performance of your machine to your user. Recently, one of my colleagues actually went to a shop to buy a new fridge. So he told me that actually when he went there, he was shown a model which was told that actually the moment he opened his Android enabled machine cell, the fridge actually started sending message to him saying that what is the health of the different components of that particular fridge. And at the same time, it also sent those same messages to the manufacturing. So before he could buy that or decide to buy, he knew the status, components, their working conditions before that. So this is what is IoT about. So IoT is actually putting IT into your devices and service, which is actually a kind of a way beyond what we have been doing so far. And secondly, what is the objective of IoT? That I can explain using by another example. For example, the light industry would like to make the entire world visible. That means if there is a dark, light industry will come and say, I will make it visible. Similarly, phone industry, what it will do, see, if you are not able to hear me from Dharwad, I will make you audible. So similarly, transportation, what it makes you reachable. For example, connectivity is a big thing. Say, for example, I mean, you cannot reach Mount Everest that easily because there are roads, but there are difficult roads. Making them reachable is what the transportation is all about. What does medical industry do? It will keep people's health or make them healthy if they are sick. Similarly, what does education do? That would enlighten. Similarly, the objective of IoT is to make world connected, entire world connected. In this, world doesn't mean only living people. It could mean everything, including devices. So IoT is to object what internet was to people. So IoT can be called Internet of Objects, where the current internet can be called Internet of People. Internet revolution led to the interconnection between people at an unprecedented rate. For example, in 90s, there were only 1 billion people. By 2000, it was many billion. Now today it is crossing about 5 billion. So that means it created a kind of a communication revolution. IoT will be interconnecting between objects and create a smart environment. When internet connected people, it created communities. For example, a community is, for example, if you have been watching the what is called Spring in Middle Eastern countries, it was because of things like Facebook, Google, other things. Actually, people could communicate and they went against their existing government and created a revolution. So that was due to internet. Today, Internet of Things will also create that kind of environment where much of the decision will be taken by the devices, so that our life becomes easy. So question time. So any questions? So what I covered so far is what are the characteristics of IoT and what is the promise of IoT, that is connecting things and making a smart environment so that people will take less decisions, machines will take more decisions, but all decisions are actually permitted and allowed by people to them. So any questions?
Will there be any impact of radiation because of using IoT devices as compared to mobiles?
No, actually not directly, but it is not completely eliminated. See, what you have to remember actually is that when any industrial activity happens, there is always a byproduct, what is known as pollution. For example, when you use vehicles, there is emission. When you use mobiles, then there is a radiation. Okay. But what industry will promise you that it will try to eliminate to a large extent, although it will not make it zero. So that is always there. But devices today are actually subject to all these regulations and all, will try to reduce, to emit radiation or create pollution to the least extent. They're working towards green effect. Yes.
Will inter-channel and co-channel interference problem rise?
So that is a very local things actually, because in the internet actually when it goes to internet, so these problems do not exist to the extent that it would actually stop you communicating. But those problems do exist, but there are solutions available for that.
What is meant by cheap bandwidth?
Cheap bandwidth actually, sir. See, today internet is available. Say for example, 98 rupees for 1 MB, or say 1000 rupees for 5 GB and all kind of a thing. So what we mean that if you compare this to about 10 years or 5 years before, then that would have been very expensive. So the prices are coming down, and that's what we mean by cheap. So another term for cheap is actually it is less expensive today to have internet connectivity than it used to have in 2 years before or 10 years before. So now it is coming such a down that actually people can afford to use that, and industries can use it to build services. Say for example, another example I give you. See 20 years back or even 10 years back, see buying a hard disk of 20 GB was very expensive. Today you get a pen drive for 16 GB for less than 500 rupees. So when I say cheap storage, what I mean is today it is possible to buy storage capacity at a very economical price. Similarly for the bandwidth.
Will IoT cause a revolution in lifestyle of mankind like mobile phone did for communication?
Yes, very much it is predicted, and actually there are certain quarters of the world which already started experiencing that, and we are in the very early stages. I showed you a picture where actually only few machines, few numbers of IoT devices are connected. But when more and more people connect, more and more people things are connected to that, there would be a lot of changes that will be brought in. I told you as to example of a student who don't have to get up early because somebody has already informed that his first class is cancelled. Okay, so that would lead into a kind of a different activities which in fact would either empower him or enable him to do certain things. Yes.
Should all these objects be connected through computer only, or is there a parallel network probable?
No. See, computer doesn't come into picture, sir. These are connected to internet, not to another computer. See, for example, a thermostat which can measure temperature by additional some connective mechanism will be connected to internet directly. Maybe it is connected to my college network through which it will connect it to internet. Or like my laptop which is I am using for this is connected to internet through that. But when I say devices, they are not necessarily computers. It could be a watch, it could be a thermostat, it could be a device which measures BP of a patient, or it could be a device which measures like heartbeat, that kind of a thing. It is not necessarily computer, but it certainly has some memory, some processing, and some kind of an embedded system to be specific.
Don't you think that all existing devices become useless from the IoT perspective and create a huge electronic junk? And
Yes.
Also, all the devices need IoT enablement to get into network, adding to the cost of the device.
True, sir. Actually, I told you, see, whenever you go from a transfer from this, one existing system to another system, the transformation will take a lot of money and effort. For example, when we had landline phones, okay, we didn't have mobile, but when people went to mobile, then you have to buy new mobiles and you have to buy new mobile networks. Similarly, when you move from a meter gauge in railways to a broad gauge, that means you have to build new trains, you have to build new lines, railway lines. So that transformation has a cost, because what happened to the meter gauge rails now, or what happened to those bogies which were running on a short gauge? So they have been junked. So this would happen, and this is not necessarily a necessary consequence, but it is a consequence. But industry will take, and there is an industry called recycling industry, right? They will try to recycle as much as possible in this regard.
If network failure happens, what will happen to the objects?
Nothing will happen, because see, when network failure happens, the connection is lost. When connection is lost, nothing happens to your device. It will start talking once connecting is established. For example, see, suppose you are a mobile service, mobile phone user, and if you are traveling in a train, you notice that actually during certain part of the travel, when you leave a station and before you reach another station, your network goes down. But nothing happens to your mobile, right? You only are out of connection. That doesn't mean that that device is dead or not functioning. It will be restored immediately once you reach a network.
Is this helpful in farming sector?
Yes, sir. It is useful in very farming sector. See, for example, I'll show you certain examples in one of the applications. For example, see, today actually, if you want to monitor your livestock, like cows or other things, like which you produce for the meat and all those things, now it is possible that you can put some kind of a devices on them, monitor their health, monitor their weight, and decide when to milk them or when to feed them and all. Secondly, for example, if you are a farmer and if you want to irrigate them, that means you have to supply water every day. Then there's you have to go from your home every day, right? See, suppose you have decided to water your plants or your field at 4 o'clock, and you are away from that town, and you realize and you don't know that it was raining in your place. But if you put kind of an IoT devices in your farm and all, so they will automatically inform you that there is no watering required today because it was raining at 2 o'clock. So now this kind of IoT, which is called agro IoT, is already in implementation. So whether managing livestock like animals, or a plant, or the status of a plant, or the humidity conditions of a particular field, they can be monitored through IoT. In this already implemented in many cases. Yes.
The term Web of
Yes,
Things
sir?
would be more. The term Web of Things would be more appropriate. What is your opinion?
No, sorry, Web of Things would mean something else. For example, see, today's internet connects people. Okay, it's called internet. Okay, and we also web. So how did actually internet become web? See, internet actually has a network layer. So that means in a network you talk to another computer using a protocol, network protocols like FTP and all. See, that was not very useful. Hence, we developed what is known as what is called application layer. So on which actually the browser and all come. So internet, when added an application layer, becomes www. Similarly, IoT, when you add a web layer so that you can connect through web, that becomes Web of Things. Okay, Web of Things has a different meaning, where actually IoT, which is capable of communicating through the existing web technologies like SOAP, okay, or browser, HTML, actually becomes Web of Things.
Yes, sir. Carry on.
And that will be covered in one of my sessions because architecture. Okay, I'll move on. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now we will talk about the consequences. The consequences, that means now that I have IoT, what does it mean? So one thing is actually, like you see in picture, actually now there are communications, everything is connected. So there will be industrial application for this. There will be building automation. There will be medical applications. So for example, I'll take one example. Say suppose you have an IoT enabled car. Then if it is sensing information and the status of that car actually goes to the always the manufacturer who is on the manufacturing side. Similarly, if you have a patient who wants to be constantly monitored and if he is fitted with some kind of a device which can measure and transfer that, a medical fraternity will always be monitoring through this IoT. So that means every human activity which needs monitoring, which needs transmission data for a distance decision and a decision to be implemented elsewhere, IoT will come into place. So IoT applications will take different forms. There are applications which will make our life easier. For example, suppose you are in a city like Bangalore or Mumbai and you are returning home and then you decide that you know that it will take another 15 minutes before you reach home on the traffic, then you can actually, if you have an IoT enabled heater in your home, actually you at 7:45 can put it on when you are in traffic. By the time you reach home at 8 o'clock, you have a warm water. Similarly, there are drive efficiencies. For example, probably you have noticed many in the earlier days or even today, many students would download from the internet during night times because during night time either the internet bandwidth is free or it is cheap. Similarly, IoT enabled items can actually be used to drive efficiency. See, now there are certain electrical companies which offer you a lesser price during 12 o'clock in the night to 6 in the morning. So suppose you have a washing machine, you can always fill that with all the items to be washed and you can program in such a fashion, or you can make an IoT kind of a thing where actually it will start working after after 12 o'clock in the night, so that actually it uses electricity when it is available cheaply. Similarly, in case of a patient or a device, for example, if you have a car and which needs a servicing every 1 month, for some reason actually you have used it more than what is usual, then it might need a service in 20 days. So an IoT device which is fitted into car will tell you, see Mr. You normally it would have required a service after 30 days. Because you have used it a lot, maybe it needs 24th day. Or alternatively, it may say like, see, this month your usage is very less, so you can extend your service, you can postpone your service by going by after 45 days. Similarly, if you are under medical care and if your parameters like your BP or pressure and all are to be measured, like sugar and all, then there is a prescription which controls that. If the patient is not responding to that control, then a device will tell you that now you have to make your early visit to a doctor because the earlier prescription is not working. So IoT has applications in every context, and these are just examples. So now, because of this, there is an opportunity. This is where the engineering dimension will come to that. See, in 2007, there were virtually no mobile applications. Apps means what we download. Last year alone, over 1,000 billion applications were downloaded, generating 26 billion in sales. What it means is less than 7 years, a new phenomenon started in 2007, that is development of mobile applications, and created billions of applications and lot of revenue. Something similar is going to happen in IoT. Now that IoT is coming into existence, now actually there is a lot of scope for everybody to take advantage of this, especially my students who are studying engineering. And there are many applications already there, for example, which will connect your TV to your fridge so that you know what drinks are available at that. Means if you like Coca-Cola or if you like a particular drink, you're sitting on your couch, actually you can tell whether there is enough stock there or not. So what it actually means is, now it is reached a level of economy where, like we developed cloud applications, like we developed mobile applications, we can also start developing IoT applications, which opens a new space both for industry and individuals. So consequence, Internet of Things is a widely useful concept. In earlier cases, it helped Bombay people, and earlier case people it helped a person to brush your tooth, and it finds use in every industry, society, and institution. Okay, so what are the various areas applications? There are variables. That means, for example, you can have a earring which is an IT enabled. Then there are connected cities. There are industrial internet, transportation, oil, gas, and everything. That means, as I told you, IoT is a solution which is such of a problem. You just identify a problem, whether it's in oil, gas industry or health industry, it has an application. So it is there in environmental monitoring, it is there in transportation, it is there in infrastructure management, and so on and so forth. So you just put your finger on a particular domain of human activity, IoT has an application to answer that. Okay. Now I will come to what is known challenges. See, when I am talking about this, then there are certain things we need to do before we can actually derive all the benefits of IoT. See, challenges is addressable, need more addresses than space, okay, and accessible communication protocol. See, in order to achieve this connectivity of things, I must be in a position to give unique address to everything in this world. For example, my pen should have a unique address, my motor should have a unique address, my computer should have a unique address. And somebody mentioned earlier, actually, now can IPv4 can be used? See, we know that the current IPv4 can support only 4.3 billion addresses. Today, we have more population than this 4.3. So industry has already realized that now we are going to IPv address, which can give billions of addresses. What IPv6 people say that even if you want to give a unique address to every atom on this earth, IPv6 will be enabling. That means the limitation of 4.3, which is imposed by the existing IPv4, is not anymore real. It's not more constant. You actually overcome. So in order to this is another thing. That means until as long as we can convert our IP mechanism to IPv6 virtually, that will help us a lot. So in order to overcome this, actually industry has already worked a solution. A uniform resource name, for example, unlike URL, we have URN. So that means each item will be identified a unique number using this IPv6. Okay. It also provides a very good option to access resources uniquely and remotely. That means like my website has a unique URL, or like the Indian government website has this. So in URN, each item will have a unique address. For example, I can access your car through an IP or a URN number. So now the question of opportunity. So what does it mean for us? See, at the beginning, actually, it's a new industry. That means I told you an application industry created by mobiles is a new market today. A new entrepreneurial space. Suppose you identify one IoT which can be converted into a business idea. There is nothing wrong in actually chasing that one, making a dream. You can actually do many projects and many more. So, but in order to achieve this, you need a competence. For example, if you write a good program, you become a developer. Similarly, if you want to encash IoT, then you got to do certain things. What you need is actually, you need a basic understanding of programming, because today is a programmable age. See, there are earlier people called literates and illiterates. That means somebody who can read and somebody who cannot read. Similarly, programming has become a basic skill today. Experience in operating systems and networking, basic overview of electronics. So if you are capable, see, this is what you would write, a program. Here is a program which is actually an IoT enabled program. This would make a particular device go on and off. Okay, you can see that. So that means programming becomes essential competence in this world. So the conclusion is that IoT is a new world order. That means it is completely different from the world that we had. IoT connects objects and make them talk to each other. My IoT enabled thermostat can speak to a device in my doctor's hospital and help me to find out whether I have enough temperature or not. Or my device in my home, which measures my BP, will tell the device in the doctor's chamber whether I am maintaining a proper level of pressure or not. Okay, so it's a new world order, and it's a new world order. It will make human life much easier. So this is the end of session number 1. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Any questions, Sridhar? I have come to the end of my session.
So what should be the minimum capacity of processor that can be used to connect to internet?
Okay, sir. See, when we develop a program for existing computers and all, you know, we have unlimited, practical unlimited RAM and hard disk and all. But now we also have another called embedded systems. See, in embedded systems, we always develop programs such that we adjust to the whatever the limited resources available there. So depending on the kind of a complexity of the work, for example, if you have a IoT which measures temperature, then the kind of memory that you need, the kind of programming that you need is very limited. But suppose you are using that to help people to help people to manage traffic and all, then that would be more. So it is an open-ended question, meaning that depending on the task on hand, you need different kind of memory processing capacity on the device. But now industry is actually trying to catch up with that, and either they are simplifying the programming environment or optimizing the existing resources. Any more questions?
Yes, sir.
Tell me.
When all things are connected and accessible, privacy is easily prone for tapping. And then the security is a great area to be addressed. Right now, there is no standard security for cloud is understandable. To what extent is it possible in IoT?
Okay, see, IoT security privacy is a big deal and it's a big concern at both national level or development level or institutional level. But people are trying to, develop mechanism. For example, a sensor which is installed in my college will have an authorized access. Everybody cannot actually open that sensor and try to get their data. So there will be authentications, there will be credential checking, like the way we have, for example, how do I protect my mobile? I will put a password to that. How do I protect my laptop? I will put a password. So if I put a password to my mobile, and after 2 minutes, if it is not used, actually it goes to a lock mode. Similarly, these sensors will go to a lock mode. Only when an authorized person comes, then they would open it using the way actually I open my mobile today. Okay, so that kind of things have been worked out. They are first placed in a secure places. They are made inaccessible to people who are not authorized, and authorized people who have credentials which will establish that only authorized person is opening them. Use a particular mechanism, and all this mechanism, all these activities on that device also recorded for what is known as auditing and tracking.
I have 8051 microcontroller card which can be connected to internet. Electrical device can be controlled by that card. Can we say it is part of IoT?
Yeah, if it can be controlled. For example, I showed you this program. Okay, this is actually for a microcontroller only. You see this program. This is actually of a microcontroller which helps you to put a light off and on. Okay, so yes, it can be connected. But what I have not done is actually connected to internet. But I have connected this to a electrical bulb in my home through some mechanism. So a microcontroller is an IoT provided it has a mechanism to communicate with the internet. And the sophistication of that mechanism depends on the application that you are building. If your question is, can I connect microcontroller to internet? Yes. The program that I showed is actually connecting, programming a microcontroller. This one. Yes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So any other question?
Yes, sir. If we make proof of concept of an IoT application, who will make it a product?
Okay. So see, it is like, see, in when an idea has to be converted into business, then there are different ways. For example, see, some people will start their own business, putting their money, or they will try to get venture capital, capital from the ventures. So if the proof of concept is made, and if you convince the investor, then that is how it goes. But there are many other routes also. For example, you can go to an incubator who would give you kind of a infrastructure to test and run, so that it becomes more visible or more convincing to the interested people, both customers as well as for the investor. So like any other business idea, it has to be started by the entrepreneurs. Once a proof of concept is, either it can be sold to somebody or it can be implemented by themselves by seeking either the investment or kind of assistance from the government, either as an entrepreneur or something like that.
Do we have any cloud service provider in India?
Yes, we have. I think I will cover it later. For example, there is a service called Amazon Kinesis. Okay, so that will actually provide some kind of an infrastructure for developing IoT. Similarly, Google has some kind of a stub. So every leading cloud computing service provider is also extending the services to IoT. Probably that would have covered probably in one of these sessions in the coming days.
There are few more questions, sir. I will send them to you by email because we have run out of time.
Oh.
Okay, sir.
Okay, no problem. So yes, thank you very much. And see, my upcoming sessions will be this: web architecture for Internet of Things. Somebody asked me web of things. So web of things actually means this session number 1. And will IoT be secure enough? Some people asked about privacy and secrecy. Privacy and security. That will be answered in session number 2. And applications of IoT will be answered in one of my sessions, where actually somebody asked like, is this has application in agriculture? Yes, very much. Okay. And my contact information is this. My website is dastikop.blogspot.in, and if you want